Do 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 la 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 la. That water's so good. Welcome to next part of Curse of Mandra's Barnskeeping. There we go. Do I have a choice? Not according to anyone I've spoken to since being here. If I wake up on my own bed in a while, the point is moot. If I don't, at least it's something we can do without Mantra's bidding. You have a point, I must admit. I'm curious about other folks' past, even if I'm not curious about my own. Why not your own? Shouldn't that be the most interesting of all to you? Something comes between us in his eyes. He wears a secretive, furtive expression that seems to transfer from his whole character and work against everything I had assumed him to be. There's nothing there for me, I know it. This is what there is, was, and always shall be. How do you know? Alpha steps backwards out of my doorway, his face like stone. Goodbye, your idea is an interesting one. Maybe it will work on the others. Maybe bring a few past lights is all you need to break Mantra's power. Be very careful though, you have no idea what you might unleash. Alpha dismisses himself, leaving me on my own in my bare little room. Wow, shit. I fling myself onto the bed, it creaks and protests. What have you got to complain about, bed? Kraken sat on you and didn't even squeak. My bed doesn't respond. I'm not sure I would have handled it if it had. I close my eyes and wish as hard as I've wished for anything ever before that I will wake up sane and happy in my own little bed in the mortal realm of whence I came. Second Awakening. The above cards have been added to your deck's builder screen. Right mouse button to examine them. Death spell card. So different creature spells. Draw a card. Repeat for every injured allied creature. That's a good card. What we go then? 4 hit points. Wow, these are good. Whoa. Reborn. Wow, that's interesting. Different from creatures. Spells can't be. Right, whatever. Quick draw like that. Okay. Lovely music. I opened my eyes and for one beautiful moment I thought I'd really woken up in my own room and everything. The room is different from now I remember it. For starters, it now has wallpaper. Dark, red flock wallpaper. I'm laying on an unbelievably comfortable mattress framed by iron woven wrought iron. There are now stone pillars carved in some kind of Gothic style, accompanied by a large window with massive stone mullions that match it. The window looks out over cemetery, with a cheerful soul you are ace and subconscious. I know this isn't my own bed in my own bedroom, the one I presume you've been in the night before meeting Mantras in the graveyard. I recall the words of the others the day before about how I had actualised the graveyard and working and how I actualised my room in the same manner. Apparently my mind has decided to do so while its owner slept. How dare you, mind? How dare you decorate without my conscious involvement? I swing my legs over and slip onto my feet into the shoes on my bedside before standing up. So far, so domestic. What's for breakfast? And do I need to wash first? No, I smell perfectly fragrant of cigars, to be precise. Unease tickles the back of my mind. Am I dead, doomed never to wake in my own bed ever again? What am I doing here? Is this heaven or hell? It doesn't particularly feel like either. No angels harpers on cloud tops, no devils toasting me while roasting spits. Let's face it, I would much rather prefer this whole experience to be a dream. It would make far more sense, but that hypothesis is getting tenable, less tenable the longer I stay here. I wander outside, expecting to find the others. No one is there. The space is deserted and quiet as a grave heart. Yeah, not funny. Far away, Manchester's tower loomed, good trust and sorrow, but ethereal with the distance. Do you want to see the old M now, or one of the others, assuming we can find them in their houses in the first place? It isn't difficult to figure out who I will find and which dwelling. It is more difficult to decide who I should see first. And like in the tutorials, fight battles in each realm to unlock new powerful cards. Click on the cog item to save. Click on the scroll icon to view cards and build decks. Hamlet, Mantras, Castle. Talk with the avatars associated to a specific element to unlock more battles for that round. While you're neutral aligned, you can't go further than 4 battles on each realm. After that, you can do them in any order. However, it's recommended to not focus on a single round, but instead explore them evenly to get as many different cards as possible. Amazing. You can visit other avatars by clicking on each house, or mantras by clicking on the castle. Try clicking on the castle now. I decided to go to see Mantras. There may be quite a few explanations as far as I'm concerned. Besides, the others seem to all defer to them anyway. If one answers, I should go straight to the source. The tower looks to be like to be a good hike away from the village. When no sooner do I decide to visit Manchester, I'm standing outside the door, raising my hand to knock. Before my knuckles have a chance to land on the eggs, the door swings open. It kind of creeps me out, to be honest, especially when no one appears to be doing the actual opening. Hello? The silence inside swallows my greeting without an echo. I'm pretty sure there should have been one given the large entrance hall that looms around me. Without thinking, I step inside. The door swings shut behind me with a third that did echo. I have to do a double take as the exterior of the place unfolds, revealing staircases going up and down and turning into impossible angles. It's as if the law of physics may have no meaning anymore. It should be confusing, but as crazy as it is, it makes sense to me. I'm walking up one of the staircases and suddenly I feel smaller. I look up and see a sort of golden cage with a seat and a telescope. I'm guessing this might be Mantra's room. I arrive at the room a few moments later, but no one is there. I look outside to see the cosmos spawning before me. It gives me a strange empty feeling. Damn, maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. I turn my attention back to the well-lit room. Weirdly, evidence of the lights themselves is nowhere to be found. Instead, it seems as if the air itself emits light. I'm not sure what to make of it. Manchas is ace. Silence, dead silence. Silence has never felt so dead. Shut up, thoughts. Yesterday there were a harmless old person, a harmless old floating person, admittedly, but not someone who seemed like they'd lock you up in a tower and perform evil experiments on you. The sort that would make sure you would never be seen again. Mantras. They say this is for your tower. If it's not, I'm sorry for intruding. Just let me know and I'll be on my way. I thought you'd come by. A voice next to my ear says the words quietly and I jump and yell out, my heart hammering in my chest. Wait, I'm dead and I have a heart hammering in my chest. Something was hammering in my chest. You scared me to death. Quite impossible, I'm afraid. Not the way I'm feeling right now, it isn't. Where did you come from? Mantra shrugs and gestures at the hair around him as if to imply that just materialised right behind my left shoulder. I scowled at him. Well, give me some warning next time, a cough or something. You'll get used to it. Things differently than what you were used to before. I don't want to get used to it. Something taught him Mantis isn't much care for what I want or didn't want. Sorry. I'm glad to see you're getting used to your job so quickly. Your progress so far has been... I didn't come to discuss the job. I came up to find out why. You have a purpose. Fulfill that purpose and the rest will follow. What if I have other plans? How can you have other plans when I put you from the Soul Stream specifically for this purpose? I had to wait a long time for you to come along. I open my mouth and then close it again on the principle that when you are in a hole you stop digging. As I already told you, your job is very simple. Mantis repeats this as if I was a child instructing the rules of solitaire. You must work with others to arrive direct souls in the Soul Stream. As you have found out, the groups are evenly divided into philosophies, those of order and those of chaos. You two will have to choose a philosophy to align with soon. Perhaps you will find companions as you are particularly in tune with. Perhaps you feel strongly that the cosmos should be one way or the other. It doesn't matter. What matters is that your opponents are evenly matched. You work all to control your sourcing using tokens which are given and which will be created as you become more skilled in the process. To most of your species, these tokens appear as cards, sometimes runestones. It matters little. The important thing is you understand them and their function. So, I am determining the fate of souls after death, to send them to heaven or hell. Mantis laughs incredulously. Certainly not. Where did you get that ridiculous idea from? Where did I get that idea from? From being constantly told I was dead myself, I suppose, or precisely undead. No, no, no. You are determining the fate of souls yet to be born to the mortal realms. That is why you are shaping the cosmos. The action of those in the mortal realms determines the future and form of the temporal universe. The Soul Stream is an endless cycle of souls that passes from the mortal realms to eternity and back. The fate of those souls lies in your hands, and this indirectly centers the fate of the cosmos. I gape. I know I look like a fish out of water. I'm Dula, trying to breathe hostile and dreamt of atmosphere. Questions while in my mind until the pressure of them gives me a headache. I know, child, I know. It's all very confusing at first, but it will soon become familiar to you. As you work with the others, you'll find a niche that only you can fill. So I should keep fighting, that's all I can do. Fight, unlock new pillars, gain new cards, but always remember to talk with others. You're not alone. You need to form a team for this to work. Go talk with them, understand them, and then you'll be ready to make a choice. But Mantis flaps an irritable hand. I know, you always have questions. Everyone has questions, but questions but born of ignorance yield useless, incomprehensible answers. Gain some experience first, then come back to me. Your questions will be more informed, and our patience will be stronger for it. With that, he practically throws me back through the now open door, and I return to the hamlet in the days. In the days, yeah. So I just get my slipper back on. No. Slippers. There we are. Sorry about this. Alright, let's continue. Advancing the story. You advance the story by talking to characters and completing battles. If you don't see any battles available, try to talk with the others. And if you don't see any dialogue available, try to finish some battles. You're now free to visit each avatar in any order. Every time you talk with an avatar, the corresponding realm unlocks and you can do a battle. You must speak with them all before the next step. Anywhere to hide this text. What is this one? I decided to approach Alpha. Probably because he seems to be the most normal of the bunch. He'd look human if it weren't for the weird hands and the blue glowing fangs. There's a small nitpicks at this point though. As I get closer to his place, I experience a strange sensation I've never felt before. Like there's light, but at the same time there's no light emitted at all. It makes me think of the beginning of the universe, the beginning of space and time. I guess it makes some kind of weird sense. I'm visiting someone called Alpha after all. As soon as I enter through the door, Alpha comes to meet me, apparently eager to talk. Hey, so what do you think so far? Everyone's crazy, including us. This whole place is nuts. I'm still not convinced everybody isn't insane, including me. You are figments of my imagination, all probably looked up somewhere babbling to myself. Alpha gently lays a giant paw on my arm. That attitude isn't going to help. It's helping me right now. Alpha smiles tolerantly as he reaches just his glasses. Do you remember having dreams in the mortal world? Not ordinary dreams, but the ones you knew you were dreaming and weren't able to use that knowledge to manipulate the world into doing whatever you wanted. Lucid dreams. Right. I look at him, surprised. You think so too? Well, I don't have any evidence to say one way or other. How can you tell the difference anyway? Wait until you wake up? Which could be any moment or never. So anything I do means nothing or everything. Hasn't that always been the case though, even when we were alive? I don't have an answer for that. I feel giddy and a bit sick as I'm staring down the steep winding staircase that I can't see the bottom of since it's eventually swallowed by darkness. Alpha's voice is gentle. Well, born from mystery, and apparently I have died to mystery. Everything in between is what we make of it. What do you make of it? I insist, trying to find some firm ground on which I can stand and regain my bearings. When I was alive, I remember being told that not only the universe is more strange than we imagine, it is more strange than we can imagine. So what are you doing here? I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. I stare at him. He laughs and holds his ugly paws in the air in mock surrender. I'm joking really, don't look at me like that. What am I doing here? Until I have a better idea, I'm playing along with the others, playing Manchester's little game, avoiding Azira's politics, and especially avoiding Mercutio's experiments. Seems like a decent enough plan for now. It'd be nice to have more to work off of it though. That thought in mind, I take a look around Alpha's room. I didn't notice when I entered, but it's pretty empty. There's a single bed, well, a single floating bed. And I'm starting to get used to seeing things float. There's also a curious zodiac dish in the centre. Alpha speaks up when he notices I'm looking at it. I guess I was a fan in astrology in my past life. Anyway, what are you going to do, Ace? I essentially like the joke in the back of cards. What you decide will affect us all in ways we cannot imagine. Suddenly I recall something Alpha says when he first introduced himself. You said mantras use as a sword to recall past lives to become more powerful, but you also said we could use that power to overthrow mantras. Mantras has to know we're putting themselves in danger. Maybe it's a calculated risk. To get what he wants, they have to give people power that can indeed be turned against them. Or maybe they're so overwhelmingly powerful despite appearances that we are but balsam flies in the face of their plans. Alpha grins, suddenly looking much more adolescent than before. Raw enthusiasm in the expression is daring, cute even. There's only one way to find out. Let me guess, you'd like me to be the sacrificial lamb. No need to be so dramatic, there may be no danger at all. Which is why everyone is rushing to volunteer. Well, you're the one who still thinks he's going to wake up and find out all this is a dream. What are you so worried about? He's got a point. I don't have a witty response prepared, and I doubt I'll come up with a reasonable time frame, so I treated him as a nonchalant shrug of my shoulders. That's what I thought. I brushed off Alpha's response and returned to my homely crypt to figure out my next move. Or wake up. That would be cool too. Hello. supposed to talk with everyone. This is the water world. There's going to be anyone amongst the strangers I can rely on to cheer me up. It's going to be Aquaria, and God knows I need cheering up. At least in a dream, there's some part of you that picks up on the weirdness and recognises that you're dreaming. Here, no part of me thinks I am dreaming, and yet things just keep getting weirder. Maybe this is purgatory, a test for the next phase of existence. At least it doesn't seem to be hell. Maybe I should have read more theology, then I might know what hell, so to speak, is going on. On the other hand, it probably wouldn't help at all. In this place, it seems like people make up the rules as they go along. Oh, hello, Ace. Another beautiful day. Is it? Do you have days here? I thought it was one eternal something or other. Whatever, it's good to be alive. Or undead or whatever. Aquaria frowns. You don't seem very happy. I'm not. I have no idea what's going on. I would really like to know what's going on. This is all so confusing. You might be right. Might be. There's no might about it. I am right. It is confusing. Nothing makes sense. I'm sure it will in time, or if it doesn't, you'll get used to it. Very helpful. Aquaria pouts and I feel bad. Ignore me, I'm just confused. Aquaria nods understandingly. Don't think you're alone in that. None of us came here armed with knowledge. We are as much as in the dark as you. So why don't do anything about it? Like what? And even if we did, it's possible that puts us in an even worse situation. My mind throws up an image of flames and monstrous figures among them doing unspeakable things to people like me who didn't exactly walk the straight and narrow in our mortal lives. I'm too scared out of my wits. I have no immediate response to that. As much as I hate my present ignorance, it is a sobering thought. There can't be much harm in trying to find out more, though. I suggest the idea a bit hesitantly. I don't know, Manchester's a bit of a known quality. Dangerous, you mean? Aquaria chews her lip thoughtfully. Maybe. Do you think it's God playing tricks on us? God? Which God? God. I say it without thinking, then I quickly think better of it and add, because even if I've ever thought you wasn't called by any question by present circumstances, why should I have any loyalty to the one I'm most familiar with? Any God, I suppose. Aquaria looks thoughtful. I mean, Kraken thinks we are gods. Well, he certainly looks apart. I wouldn't be surprised if he was some strange god from Aeon's past, worshipped by degenerate swamp people. I don't feel very much like a goddess, though. I mean, shouldn't goddesses know everything? And why can't we go back to our native realms and start bossing the mortals around? She looks at me as her question hangs in the air, balanced precariously between serious and rhetorical. So what does that make Mantras, god of gods? I don't want to think about it. Aquaria shrugs, her expression clearing. You're very curious, aren't you? I catch the judgment in her tone. So what if I am? I think it's not wise to be curious. I mean, a bit, yes. But you seem curious, and that's dangerous. I look at her trying to figure out what she's really trying to say. What do you mean, dangerous? Aquaria gives me a dark look. Do you want to go back from where you came from? Wake up, you mean? The question slips out automatically. Well, there's no waking up, but maybe there is going back. She intones the words going back ominously, and I realise why in what terror. Go back where? To the mortal realms, silly, where you can die 100 million unavoidable and horrible deaths. Is that what happens then? We just get recycled? Perhaps, if we're not careful. And it's not just get recycled. You make it sound boring. It's horrific. I murmur uncommittedly. If I ever wake up, I'm going back there anyway. It hasn't seemed so terrible for the most part from what I can remember anyway, which is hardly anything at all. But surely I remember the bad bits, even nothing else, right? Those are the memories that always stick, not the good times. Oh, I'm sure you'll be calm and relaxed about it when the time comes. Then you'll be begging and pleading to come back, and it will be too late. that comforting thought. She turns and deliberately leaves me. I sigh and then leave her home to go see if there's anyone else capable of cheering me up. Siberia's dwelling stands out among the rest of its steep metal surfaces and the forest of antennae rising from the roof. I wonder if they serve any purpose or if they're merely decoration, something that reminds her how we're subliminary of whatever mortal realm she had emerged from. In some ways it seems familiar, in others it's utterly alien to the world I remember myself. Mantra's realm seems so far removed from any technological advances that Siberia's architecture seems to shout of defiance, of rebellion even. I wonder whether it's a message Siberia had intended when she first created it. As I walk up to the door, I see something flash in the sunlight, some kind of metal box with a glass lens on a metal arm swivels to track my progress. A camera, I think, although it's unlike any I've seen in my mortal waking life. Is Siberia watching me somehow from the other side of the door? How impolite. I give the metal eye a hard stare. I have half a mind to turn around and go visit someone else. My curiosity, always a weakness of mine, gets better of me. I raise my hand to knock on the strange circular metal door, and it opens with a whine. Sections of it retracting into the wall from the centre so it opens like the iris of an eye. Foxes, metal clothing, eye-opening doors. Siberia is proving to be a bit of a show-off. Come in! Siberia calls as if an open door isn't enough invitation enough. I've been waiting for you. Hasn't everybody? My voice trails off as soon as I survey her domain. Every piece of furniture and decoration seems to be impossibly fashioned from metal, joined and smoothly curved without resorting to rivets or welding. Flat screens show moving images, symbols, and a text that borders on the incomprehensible. Along one wall she seems to have a workbench with strange robotic arm devices. Opposite she has a metal surface bed which looks horribly uncomfortable, unless I suppose it's used by someone who's used to wearing metal clothing. Cozy. I winced at my own insincerity, immediately regretted it. Just because I find her place uncomfortable and almost repelling, that doesn't mean she does. It is her home, and what gives me the right to talk anyway? I'm living in a crypt. Siberia doesn't seem to take offence. It reminds me of where I came from. It looks... I struggle to find the right word, eventually giving up and going with something less lacklustre instead. Expensive. Siberia shrugs and half smiles as she looks around. I suppose it would be if it wasn't made here. Luckily, imagination doesn't cost anything. That's some imagination you have. I guess mine relies on stuff I've already actually seen. Siberia looks at me curiously, then she gestures at the workbench and flat screens. Surely you've seen video screens, robots. Nothing that compares to any of this. Maybe we come from different worlds. Or times. The others don't visit me much. I get the impression they are scared. Well, your pace is a bit unsettling. I'm sure it's fine when you get used to it, though. I tapped the last part in a hurry, hoping to soften what I said previously. It doesn't seem to work. Annoyance flickers across Siberia's face. Regardless, I'm sure you didn't come to discuss my decor. Well, maybe I would have, if I had known it was so interesting. She doesn't look very mollified by my tempered flattery. I should probably try something different. So, do these things actually work in this world, or are they only decoration? I gesture at the various objects lying on the workbench. Some do, some I haven't figured out yet. Maybe it has to do with the physical laws of the universe, or maybe that I didn't get something quite right. After all, everything is a product of my subconscious mind. It's not actually manufactured, so maybe an error lies deep within my agitative processes. Fascinating. I probably sounded about as sincere as my cozy from earlier. Anyways, I wanted to speak with you about mantras. Siberia looks puzzled. Mantras? What about mantras? Well, it seemed like he controls everything, and to me, That's not how things should work. We should be free. Free to do what we want, huh? Sabira laughs, disbelief playing in her tone. You want to depose mantras? You don't even know what M is, let alone how strong M is. Who's been putting these ideas in your head? No one. I just don't like anyone thinking they have power over me. Well, knowledge is a power of a kind. The first thing you should concern yourself is with knowing what's going on and what everyone's angle is. Angle? What their ambitions are and what they're willing to do to achieve them. You clearly have a goal, but so do the others, and they may be more willing to go to extremes to achieve their goals than you are for yours. Sabira begins fiddling with things on her workbench. Listen, I have things to do I want to do before our next session. Go and talk to the others yourself. Most of them are always happy to talk, especially about themselves. I stare at her, wondering what's caused a sudden change of mood. I can help you work on whatever this is. I didn't mean to upset you. If I said anything wrong, Sabira frowns at me. There's nothing you said. I just need to be alone to figure something out. I'll see you around, Ace. There's such a command in her voice that I find myself walking out the door before my brain catches up with my feet. It's a pity. I thought Sabira was one of the saner ones. What is this one? Ending my steps near Letty's doorstep, I feel like I'd pass her around. Her door, unlike mine, is painted red, making me mentally scoff. Ironically, we both bathed in our own blood and died. What? But this avatar chose to cherish that same colour that reminds me every day of my previous life. I knock on her door twice before she speaks up. Who's there? Death. Opening her wide enough for me to see her properly. Lily greets me with an annoyed expression. I look back at her, my eyes roaming all over her, sharp facial features, and my mind screams she's beautiful. I'd love to spend the whole day with you standing there, but I have some work to attend to. I would love to be a small part of that unfinished work. He rolls her eyes and steps aside, perhaps asking me to walk in. Setting foot inside the room, I am amazed. My eyes do a quick check on Lily and then dart back to a contrasting room. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Dead people all think alike. It's easy to read your thoughts. She makes herself comfortable on a queen-size bed that matches with her purple satin corset dress. Your place is bigger than mine. My words make her chuckle, and for a second my heart skips a beat for her dimpled cheeks, which, in the dimly lit room, make her look almost mythical. She is someone I conjured up in my imagination. No, I didn't know what you were thinking. No, I didn't know you were thinking that. People usually say that my room reminds them of hell. But I beg to differ because hell is hot, whereas I can't feel anything other than spine-chilling cold. That's because we are dead. And so young. For a moment there is grief in her eyes as she stares at me, but is quickly replaced by a warm look as she motions me to take a seat beside her. I like the girls' room. Lingering in the dark space makes me feel as if we are stuck in time. There are ticking clocks, no sound of heartbeats. The room feels dead. Taking a seat, I catch a glimpse of her beauty in the soft glowing light that radiates from the candles. This girl loves playing with black and red. Her room is dark while she's pale white and gorgeous. Oh right, okay. Should really be that one. Yeah. You're making me blush. I have grown to like my pale skin, and now you're bringing back colour to my cheeks. She's acting so strange, so coy. It's odd because as far as I recall, we're supposed to be antagonists, enemies even, ways at each other's throats, but here I can sense subtle flirting. Out of two people they eventually fall in love and die. My own responsive character may have bored her, making Lily shift on her seat and cross her legs before slightly leaning towards me. Don't mind me, please. This comfortable furniture makes me feel things. She lets out another chuckle while I try hard not to look at her legs that are now irritably close to mine. Mind if I lay next to you until you decide to speak up? All she has in the snarky montage, choose to talk about the matter that's eating up my dead brain. I need to know about this place, how we ended up here, and if there's any chance of escaping. You're a funny ace. It's too bad that I don't have a thing for funny guys. I give her a blank expression. In exchange, Lily gives me a smile that says, "You are as good as dead." You need to stay for us, right? Because you shouldn't leave me behind. Don't forget we're both here as death avatars, so there's no I and me, there's only us and we. Moving her hands to and fro to indicate both of us, she gives me a wink that might be saying, "I'm as trapped as she is, and it's fun that way." Yeah, okay. Now can you tell me if you know anything about how to escape this place? There's no escape, we are dead and gone from the living world, we can't escape death twice. It gives me a bored look. And sometimes you just have to accept the reality of the situation, that you are dead and that you have such a wonderful partner. Sorry, I mean antagonist. After finishing her sentence, she winks again. Her words cause me to go silent and think for a while. Maybe she's right. All these words pouring in my ears, they are playing inside my head without a pause button. The rational side of me thinks that what she said was correct. I think you're right, we should just accept our fate. I mean, there's no escape from death. We're here for a reason, I think it's best to just follow whatever comes our way. Really? You're ready to sit and accept whatever has to be done. I thought that you would raise your voice and stand against the test of time, but you came out as an obedient dog, Ace. I'm quite disappointed in you. You were the one who told me to accept the fact that we're dead. Don't turn that around on me, Lily. Don't act like a brave person and make a fool out of me. Funny how death made me brave and you a coward. If you are fine accepting the truth and be my guest, otherwise I'm quite bored looking at your pretty pale face. I can do nothing other than embrace the truth. You, on the other hand, could use some time to polish your communication skills. We both have plenty of time now, so ring my bell any time you need my help. I've had enough of this life and death game. I'm ready to leave her place. Get up. I get up, about to leave. I look at her for the last time with a determined gaze. There is an unsaid promise behind my eyes while a playful mischief dances in hers. We both are the same and yet so different. Same fate, different personalities. However hard we try, we can't work together. Leaving so soon? Guess I have to entertain myself now. He speaks while training behind me, and I clearly catch the hidden meaning under both the words. This girl is brutal, so hot and so cold. Both at the same time. The fun part is she knows it. I bet you will get bored soon. With a smirk, I walk out of her place, and she closes the door with a bang. Going back to my room, I come to the realization that whatever I say, Lily is bound to oppose it and vice versa. That's how this place works. There's no way we can work together as a team, but somehow I think I need to know more about her. Perhaps she could still be useful to me. I'm over stopping to smell the days and making most adventures, but I seriously need to get home. I need to ditch this dream or whatever it is, and apparently that means taking another risk. But if it's just a dream, that means it's material for a random party story later, right? It means that if this crazy woman strangles me again, I'll just let it go and wake up to, or come to whatever the big reveal will be. Mom, I know I promised not to talk to strangers. You're just going to have to forgive me. I know that I'm going to have to talk to every person until I finally find a door, a magic potion, some ruby red slippers, or the right place to pinch, so I can come out into the world I used to hate for being boring. Now I'm missing the familiarity, especially with this wild and gorgeous woman running around. She has tan skin, interrupted with fissures of molten lava. Her hair colour is coloured like fire, and her outfit shows off exactly how hot she is. Between her muscle and take no shits near, I have no doubt she can survive anything I put in front of her. If I didn't still feel her hands around my throat, I might believe that she's a gift in this world. but I'll let Brutus fade before I'm willing to hand her a compliment. Hey! Jumping, I turn to look at her. She glances around, eyes wild and sharp. Her head is on a swivel. What the hell is she looking for? An exit isn't just going to show up and to whisk us away. She leans close to me, her hand slowly stroking down my arm to clasp my wrist. It's not safe here, we need to get out in the open. Listen, I think you're very strong, but I'd rather not be alone with you. She drags me into what I suppose is a house, ignoring my almost nine. But I don't know if I'd even call this a house. I don't see the door, but I certainly see the inside. Harsh red clay makes up the walls and floors. There's a gold trim to bring elegance to the actual inferno in the room. Really, the gold just helps the windows stand against the red and orange wool. There's no class with volcanoes. I miss having only one reality to worry about. Magma drags me further in, and shoves me to the side as if she's expecting an explosion to tear through. Just as I open my mouth to argue with her insanity, she grabs me and pushes me against the wall. She practically holds me in place and hisses at me. Stay quiet, but a hand slaps down over my mouth. She's definitely gorgeous, radiating heat and power. Still, there's a manageable level of crazy. Then there's I push her hand away. What's going on? You're after me. We have to stay on the move or they catch us. Just think about this. Why are people after you? I don't remember. It's fuzzy. I try to keep my thoughts to myself. She just needs some perspective, that's all. Okay, so let's proceed logically and look at it from a rational point of view. Have you done anything to make people come after you? Oh my lord, I'm going to be order. Magma looks me over carefully, practically panting in her panic. She swallows, meaning? Don't let your emotions steamroll your brain. Come back to, well, whatever this place is and use some logic. There's a lot going on, we just need to take a breath and think. Because if she doesn't, I don't know what will happen to us. Or if she'll suddenly decide I'm the one after her. Still, there's something about her insanity that seems familiar, and I shake my head as some memory tries to worm its way in. Am I going with a neon sign that I should be able to read, but I can't? I just get this feeling that my idea is right. I think you're so paranoid because something has happened to you. In my previous life? Maybe, but even in here, in this limbo. How is that possible? You said it yourself. You don't remember. None of us remember anything, not just our past lives. If you stay here too long, I think everything gets fuzzy. Even time and memories. Magma blinks at me, then leans her head to the side. Even confused, she's attractive. Her full lips pressed together while the gears of her brain work to process the information as little as it is that I've laid out for her. So are you saying that someone did something to me here, and I forgot about it? It's a possibility, I can't be sure of anything, and seeing how you attacked me the first time we met, it might have been the previous death gatekeeper's doing. Wait, go back to what you were saying, it seems like deja vu, you know? I grab her arm and squeeze it, trying to calm her down. Keep thinking about it, and if I find something, I'll let you know. Oh my lord. So I go to see Gambaran. His dwelling isn't so much the house as a grove that's so densely encircled by trees that it makes it impossible to see inside. I think about how dark and gloomy it must be inside because I can't see any way for light to penetrate the thick canopy, and there isn't even a visible opening. I circle the house several times, wondering how Gambaran himself would possibly enter when I notice a narrow gap in the foliage. Luckily I am a narrow man. I probe and push aside the vegetation. I was wondering how many times you were going to go around my grove. I glare at him. You were watching me the whole time. It's always a pleasure watching you, Ace. I'll have you know that I'm immune to flattery. Gambaran chuckles. I doubt that. Gambaran sits on a leaf-strewn divan in the nimbus visible what looks like a woodland. Strange bulbous flowers illuminate the grove in a gentle light, and impossibly we are surrounded by vistas of hills and mountains that look ready to step into. Birds chatter and fly overhead, chasing insects while small animals scurry in the overgrowth. Can you imagine all this? I asked the question, trying to unsuccessfully to keep the awe out of my voice. Gambara shrugs modestly. An eternity of practice, it's home. So what did you come and see me about? Oh, I'm just dropping by, meeting neighbours, you know. My affecting nonchalance was too late for anyone to fool anyone. Luckily there was only Gambara and myself here. Now what do you think of the neighbours? Interesting and somewhat disturbing. You get used to it. Though I understand why you might find this place and its inhabitants unsettling. It's been an eternity since I first arrived, but I still remember my first impressions of this place. My origins were a lot different from yours, of course. How? What do you remember? Have you thought any more on what we discussed? Don't change the subject. Perhaps I'm not changing it, merely approaching it from a different angle. I look at him with undisguised suspicion. Beware fellows who talk too much and don't answer straight questions. What angle? Perhaps the real battle is not what it seems, not between order and chaos, between eternity and the mortal realms. I don't understand. Gambara shrugs. Neither do I yet. Although I have thought about it for longer than you have been here, but hear me out. Neither you nor I nor the others can remember what our lives were like before we came to this place. The reason, we are told, is due to the trauma the soul undergoes in the transition from the mortal to the eternal realm or realms. Who tells us? Good question, or a tradition, perhaps stolen from Mantras himself. It's either the truth or a convenient myth to call the greater truth. Do you trust Mantras? Mantras would have us serve them unquestioningly. What possible reason could there be for trusting Mantras? None. Exactly, first rule of chaos. Trust no one who pretends to have power over you. Rules for chaos? Gambara shrugs and laughs. A rule of my own, there is no obligation for you to heed it. I don't get it, you want me to follow you. I don't want you to follow me, you're an intelligent man, you can decide for yourself what is the right path for you to take. So I decide to ally with Azaria to pick a name at random. You'd be a-okay with that. Azaria is a fine woman, though sadly misguided. I think you're capable of being better than merely one of her acolytes, but if that is what you want... I like her determination. She's a strong woman, a bit too snobby and an open-intended cold, but I like the way she thinks. So you're ready to become one of her soldiers? A soldier? No. But she seems to be one of the few around here who is seriously determined to find out who might be going on and beat Mantras at their game, whatever that might be. Oh my god, I'm almost order. I'm order! That's a noble goal. Even if you don't want to disappoint it, you'd become her soldier in the Order Kingdom. You're disappointing me, Ace. Look, it's too early. I'm still finding out what I'm doing here and what's going on. How do I exactly know what I want? The problem is you need the assistance and strength of the others to succeed at this game of Mantras we have to play. And the stronger your relationships, the more powerful you yourself will have. The question is, do you pledge your power to the others to direct it as they will, or do you use it to concert with your teammates and make the group stronger? Maybe the others will pledge their power to me and then I will be in control. Bah ha ha ha. My evil laugh fades into embarrassed coughing in the face of Gambara's indifference. Power always has its price, and the freedom it brings is always illusory. If you have power born from wealth, it will never be enough, and still more, you are beholden to others for it. If you have the power born from position, you're always surrounded by those who lust after it for themselves. Power can be used for good, yet somehow it never is like wealth. So much of it is squandered on appeasing your rivals and keeping your enemies at bay. So little left over, it seems. So you would have me living in poverty and helplessness. I haven't your strength or self-assurance. Ah, you have intelligence and wealth of your own talents. Poor with mine and our companions, we would present a formidable force with which to shape the cosmos. Is not imposing your will on it? One cannot impose freedom, merely open whole vistas of new possibilities, where before many may have seen only unbreachable walls. It is true that some might desire continued slavery, but those individuals have nothing to contribute anyway. There are sheep left to roam until we are cold and in need of their fleece, or hungry and need their flesh. That's a harsh view. And Bora's expression flashes irritation. The cosmos isn't a nursemaid. We sentient creatures are given the ability to recognize our freedom and given talents and understanding to use it better ourselves and our fellows. Relax, I'm playing with the devil's advocate. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with you, but I want to investigate all angles before I commit to anything. Gamboran gives me a grudging smile. I knew you had wit and intelligence, Ace. You are wise to probe even your allies for weaknesses they may not be aware of themselves. The wise will thank you for it, the foolish will curse you. In either case, you will be the stronger for it. Gamboran eyes me shrewdly. So what now, Ace? What is your plan? I've got to think, talk to the others. Maybe someone knows more about mantras or whatever happened to my predecessor. Be careful then, Ace. I'd hate for something to happen to you. Be careful who you trust and what you'll say, especially to mantras. His words ring in my ears as I leave the grove. This immortal gig, if that's what it really is more complicated than even a theologian might suspect. I feel rather than hear something come up behind me. The ground trembles. I can't say my soldier seeing an approaching giant, possibly an ancient god. Speak of the devil. Greetings, Ace. I was just thinking about you. Charmed, I'm sure. Likewise, I'm sure. I murmur it because one being the size and physique of Kraken, there's no downside to being excessively polite. Kraken looks around. We are alone. At his observation, I take a look around myself. I'm somewhat surprised to find that he's right. It appears so. Would you like to take a walk, Ace? There are many things I'd like to discuss with you, and this place, I find it too dry. Oh, not just rain. Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine. The strange thing is, I believe him. I knew it would end up in a swamp, I just knew it. Then again, I guess it's more accurate to say that Kraken ended up in the swamp. He wades into the murky waters until he's shoulder deep and looking like he owns the place, which he probably does. He most certainly created it, actualised it. I find a dry stump to perch on, surprisingly comfortable stump. I wonder whether I put it there in the power of my own mind or whether it's Kraken's doing. Is this your house? Kraken laughs. No, I have a dwelling on the hamlet with the rest of you. It is a dank, dark, and to you, an evil-smelling place. Here is much more pleasant, the open air, the cleansing waters, the wildlife. I survey my surroundings. The humid atmosphere is dense with the smell of rotted vegetation. The trees drip with epiphytes and surplus water. I can hear the gurgling croaking of creatures that I'll probably find even more disturbing company than Kraken. Be grateful, I tell myself. You could be huddled in a damp, dark cabin feeling strange and invisible creatures crawling across your feet. But I look at Kraken, he's so happy, as happy as a 4-year-old sitting in a pig wallow making mud pies. The silence stretches between us, long enough that I begin casting around for something to start a conversation. Who are you? What are you? Some strange creature from another planet, another realm of existence? Or a human in disguise? Too birds not white to be careful about the questions they ask. It would be too easy for Kraken to turn things around and ask me similar questions that could leave me imparting information I'd rather remain undisclosed. But silence and I have never been comfortable companions. Give me a few minutes alone in the room, I'll start talking to myself. I couldn't very do that in front of Kraken. There's only one safe topic of conversation I can think of. What do you think about mantras? Mantras? You've been reading my mind, I was thinking of them myself. Really? Why? You? Me? When one of us departs, those who remain wonder what mantras will find next to fill the vacancy. And this time they found you, a most curious man, and I was wondering why, what drives them to choose those they select to join our illustrious little band. A most curious man, me, who's looking to talk here. Pot kettle, shake hands and make friends. Surely, I surely don't know. It is a mystery to us all, but it is one that bears investigation. I couldn't help but notice that you're a very inquisitive man. I know my eyes, just like everyone else, who wants to use me to pursue his own agenda. Even if it's kind of sort of maybe our agenda too. That is beside the point. So what do you want me to do? I only just got here, remember. Why should I find out something you people haven't bothered to find out in all the time you've been here? As difficult it is to read Kraken's expression beneath the growths that cover half his face, I fancy he merely smiles patiently at my outburst. No one is asking you to do anything on your own. We'll have to work together. Who's we? Ah, more difficult question than might surmise. Who do you trust, Ace? What is your instinct on this? Aquaria. Aquaria, she's so sweet and gentle. I would just do it in my life. Oh my lord, I'm going backwards. How naive you are. Aquaria has the power of water, but the hunger for chaos. She's as sweet as gentle as a lion is a pussycat. I have told her many times, chaos always betrays those it brings in its seductive way. But she is the creature she is, and none can change her. Well, it's been interesting talking with you, Ace, and I hope we will do so again. All I ask is that you remember and contemplate my words and not make your decision lightly. You can come see me anytime you wish to discuss things further. No doubt we will learn from each other. This is the portal shit. So here we are. Angel intrigues me. A violent temper contrast with her decidedly placid and well angelic appearance. And as before concerning the maleficent strangeness of her wings. There's no mistaking her house. Its delicate soaring architecture with white marble facade and ethereal decorations make everything around it seem dowdy by a comparison. I don't feel worthy of entering it myself. But I do anyway, pushing the grand front door open. It looked like it should weigh a ton, but I'm pretty certain I could have opened it with a finger since it moves so smoothly. Angel sits on the lighting area vestibule, her legs crossed. She's engrossed in the needlework balanced on her knee. She looks up and as I enter and frowns. Don't you knock when you enter people's houses? Did you knock when you came to visit me? You didn't have a door. Also, you were unconscious. I carried you in, you know. You were just lying in the dirt before I came along. So I was, thank you. Honestly, though, this place reminds me so much of a church that it didn't register as a private jailing in my brain. I didn't even think about knocking. Sorry. Angel looks around her room as if seeing it for the first time. It is, isn't it? I love it. It makes me feel so peaceful when I am here, away from the others. So you really want to be alone then? I'll go. Angel speaks up as I reach the door. No, stay, please. It's nice having someone new around here. She fades into silence and bends over her needlework. What are you making? This? Oh, just a cushion cover for a needler. I find it relaxes me, makes me less mouth twist. Unbearable to be around, for a little while at least. I don't know what to say in response to that. It's a strange place, isn't it? Angel looks up sharply. If you don't like it, you can get out. I look at her, aghast about how horribly she'd taken the comment. No, I didn't mean this place, your house. I meant this world, this afterlife. This dreamland, I felt like adding, but already irritating and fearful of my dream theory. Sometimes you have to know when to let go, or at least when to give others the impression you let go, even when really are just hiding it behind your back. Yes, it is, isn't it? Angel's voice holds the same sadness I'd heard yesterday. It's not at all what I expected. Well, I can't say I expected anything before I found myself here. Angel looks me up and down with a rather disapproving expression. No, I don't suppose you didn't. Not many people give serious thought to what comes afterwards. I think they assume. Again, her voice trails into silence. A habit of not finishing a sentence is getting irritating. Assume what? Angel looks at me as if we're now materialised in front of her. Had she really forgotten I was there? Assume they were taken care of, I suppose, after a lifetime of... Oh, for Pete's sake, don't try and hold a conversation with a dementia patient. I have to grapple my temper into submission. You remember your life? I thought no one did. No, I don't remember any detail of it, just an emptiness, a void. Well, this is getting depressing, even for me, who supposedly represents the famously jocular old Grim Reaper himself. I changed the subject. You'll never guess what, Angel. What? She's still lost in her own sad little thoughts. Apparently, I decorated my room a bit while I was asleep. Angel brightens up. Really? That's usually how it happens, you know. Do you mind if we go see it? I'm taken back by her unexpected enthusiasm. Sure, if you will. I'm sure it's not much to write home about, though. I wonder how Angel would feel about the dark flock wallpaper and heavy masonry. Oh, and let's not forget the uplifting view of the graveyard. Angel puts down her needlework and stands. Don't worry about that, everyone's got weird tastes around here. We step outside, there's still no sign of life for the obvious expectation of the two of us. Speaking of everybody, where are they? Angel shrugs. Around somewhere, I expect. There we go. When we get to my place, I discover I actually have a door, something I don't remember being there when I left this morning. There's a dark iron-bound and stout little number, yeah. Like one you might find embedded in the stonework of a walled churchyard. Yeah, definitely cheery. Angel doesn't comment on it. The door creaks a bit as I push it open. It needs some oiling for sure. Maybe I'll try asking Angel how she got hers to move so smoothly later. Before that though, Angel looks around smiling. It's very nice, very comfortable, I'm sure. I'd look at her sharply, wondering if she's being sarcastic, but there's no sign of sarcasm in her expression. She seems genuinely happy to see what I've done to the place. And that's the end of this episode. Join me again for more The Curse of Mantras. Until next time, have a lovely day now. Bye bye.